Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. It's your boy Vanna and my friends, coming off of the last video that I posted, which was a short kind of showing off a failure that I have because it has failed. The juniper is dead, very dead, sadly. I'm going to take this opportunity today to remove a couple air layers that I did, which were successful. And this first one that you're seeing here is a rain tree air layer. So, without skipping a beat, because as it's getting closer to Christmas, it's getting darker earlier. It's only minutes to 5 in the afternoon and it's already looking like after 6. What after 6 would usually look like. So, with that said, let me bring you in closer to see the work, and then let's get to taking this off, and then we're going to move on to another air layer that I did. I didn't check it, so I'm going to be checking that for the first time on camera to see if it was successful or not. And as a matter of fact, I have 2 other air layers that seems as though they are failures, and this is the second time. So piece by piece, let me take you in closer to see what this air layer looks like first. Yeah, so as I said, my friends, this is a rain tree, Brazilian rain tree, and this is the air layer that I did. When I did the air layer initially, it did not take it calloused over, and I rescarred it because the intention for this, if you look at where the air layer is and how the branch comes off, and all of these branches come off of this main branch here, it gives that kind of a raft kind of feel. Yeah. Tell me if all you didn't find so. Now I have a lot of greenery happening around. So it gives kind of a raft kind of feel. So this is the end. This end has died back, as all Brazilian rain trees are notorious for doing, having dieback. Sorry for the hands in front of the camera, but when I plant this, the intention is to plant this as a raft and possibly scar here to see if this part of it would also root. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, well, it would have sufficient roots from this side. So let's get this off and get this into a pot. The pot I have is not the best. It's very oversized. But this is what I have. So I don't work with what I have. Unless it fits in something much smaller. So let me just go. So my friends, I'm going to proceed to take this off. But I have to look at what is happening. As you could see here, I have a new shoot coming out here. And I also have a new shoot coming out at the back here. So if I turn this just a little bit and I use my hand as a shield, you're going to see there's a new shoot here. But this has given me a lot of roots, a lot of nice roots all around. So I want to take it off. I would have liked to have kept this young shoot at the back here. So I'm going to try to take it off a little bit above this young shoot. But knowing rain trees, it's not giving it enough space to die back. So I might lose that anyway. So I'm going to take it right here. So, and then I will take my time and remove the plastic and whatnot to see if I could shorten the branching on the inside closer to the root board. Okay, so the air layer is off and this has a nice startup structure, right? Now, from this particular rain tree, I would have taken a lot of air layers. at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think either 6 or 7 air layers from this one tree because it was quite big. And now I have the opportunity to start working on a structure for it. So it has the trunk coming up, this nice branch here, this nice branch here. However, this branch breaks off into 2. So I may have to remove one, right? So you're seeing this one here and this one here. I may have to remove one because one hides behind the other. And this one that is coming up here has a little more movement than the other one. But in time. For now, I'll finish with this. This is going to be a tackle at a later date. Let's get to this piece of work here. Now, friends, before I even put this up, when I turn the air layer upright, this is what it looks like. Looking kind of cool, you know. But this also looks kind of cool too. And I don't think I have anything that looks like this. So I think this is a pretty good challenge. What do you think? If I was to plant it like this, and let me set it down where you could see it properly. So hold a second. So as I get on to my little table type situation here, this is what it basically looks like. And I have to kind of, dance between some trees. So this is what it basically looks like. Now the branches are, and just to give you a little scope on it, the branches are pointing outward and not straight. So it would take some work to kind of bring these a little straighter. Like this, for instance, who is almost laying down. And this guy is not so bad. This guy is good. This is a branch off of this. And then we have this guy in front here, which is furthest away from you. So the guy in front, as you can see, is laying down as well too. Now I have this guy here who stands nicely, and I could sacrifice this, but that's a waste of material, boy. I could use a bit of guide wire to help straighten these fellows. I could do that. So let's see how that goes. Let's organize to get this into a pot and keep it going because it's getting darker faster. Okay, so what have I been doing when I came off camera? So what I did, oh gosh, and I have it in the wrong angle, I put a little bit of guide wire here to bring these branches a little more upright, and I put some copper wire here to bring these a little more upright. So it's going to be planted something like this with the majority of the root ball inside. What I also did is scarred under here where I will put a little bit of rooting hormone, and let's see if something comes out. Now, as this grows, we can apply the clip and grow technique to getting the branches in the places that we really and truly want them. But for now, I just needed to take this from being on the ground, basically, and elevate it a bit, and take these other two from being on the ground and elevate them as well. So I'm going to take this off. As you can see, the little time that I took, because to be very honest, my friends, I went into my own thoughts, and when you're going to your own thoughts, you kind of not lost sight of what you're doing, but I was just so in my own thought process that I forgot I wasn't really and truly recording. But I am taking off the bag, and what I want to attempt to do without damaging the roots too much is to clip this back a bit. Or, you know what, just to be safe, I could leave this as is and plant it as is, and later on, in a year or two, when we're looking at the root system again, then is when I could interfere with this. And I think that might be the better bet. So I'm going to remove this plastic and plant this as is. So as I gently remove the plastic, I have a lot of nice roots. Yep. And my friends, the roots are so vigorous that they started to puncture the plastic. So I have to get this. I try not to lose a root, not a root. So let me get this into some soil, and I have this little fella here. If this fella survived, that would be funny, real funny. I'm not taking him off. Nope. I'm giving him a chance. So let me get this into some soil, and let me see if I can move on to one other thing before it gets too dark to work. Okay, so this is what I did, and I didn't even apply my technique, what do you call it, my chopstick technique. So I'm doing that while I have this in my hand here, to make sure that the soil settles and there are no air pockets. I sank the root ball mainly whilst keeping this side of the raft a little higher. So it's planted something like this. And eventually it should level off. And I'm hoping that I really and truly get roots on this end. But if I don't, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to work with it. So this is it. I'm going to give this a good watering. As you all can see, I'm giving you all a nice little 360 view. Make sure that the dirt is settled into this very long pot. And what I also did is I removed some extra long branches to increase the chances of this taking off, because I really want this to take off. This fellow here, I'll have to bring him back into the center here, but I don't want to create too much clutter. What I'm thinking I might have to do, if you're looking at the line here, I have this guy coming up here who could be a little straighter. I have this guy on the outside, this on the outside, that guy in front, kind of like on the outside. So everybody kind of has a space, and you could kind of see through this planting. So let's hope for its success. Remove that. Remove this fellow here. And remove this fellow here. Yeah, so my friends, in that little bit of talk, it's already getting very dark. So it means that I'm going to have to continue this tomorrow. So let me call it quits for today, and let's continue with this planting tomorrow. Well, let's see. Good morning, my friends, and it's the following day. It is the next day. It's a really nice morning. It is 6 something in the morning, and we are continuing with this rain tree, and then we're going to move on to the other things that I identified. So just before I put this back where it could heal and start growing again, because as I said before, what I want to do now that it has this structure, I want to start to create that nice canopy over it. I probably didn't use the word canopy yesterday, but say what. So, with that said, just looking at these shoots that are coming out, and there's some choices to be made. Not much, but still, and we're just going to take a little clip back and put this where it could begin the healing process and start growing again. Right, so without skipping a beat, what we have happening here is two branches coming basically out of the same spot. One is on the inside, which is not bad, because what would have happened is that you would have had this on this side, this on the other side here, creating that and I'm showing all the things and my camera not picking up. Hold on. It's not that bad, but they're going to create some swelling here, and it would have been nice if one was more on the outside and the other one was at a different level on the inside, which would have helped to create that umbrella type shape. But that is not the situation in this instance. So what I'm going to do is I am going to remove this guy. And I'm wondering if I should remove the inner guy or the outer guy. Now this ideally is the back. So let me give it a little spin and see. But before I give it a spin, let me cut off some of these long extending shoots. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the guy on the inside, leaving this on the outside. I will develop the shoot. Hopefully the shoot develops, and this will occupy this space. He will be on the outside here. Hopefully we could get something else, and I could probably cut back this shoot, and still again you will not see. Oh, having some camera angle issues today, boy. So I could maybe cut back this to about here, or I could leave this to see if anything grows from here. But I'm thinking this is a little too long, so we're going to cut it back just a bit, probably an inch or so. And yeah, let's see what's happening. So I cut back the branches significantly, leaving cutting back the buds in directions that I want the next branch to grow out in, and this is the start. So let's hope for the best where this particular rain tree is concerned, and with that, let's move on. Okay, so next on the list is this elm, Chinese elm, and this, my friends, just to give you a little bit of history on this is an air layer that I did, and now I am taking an air layer off of the air layer because when I look at the structure of the tree, this branch is in a bad space. So rather than wasting the material, and let me step back a bit and give you a view on what could potentially be the front of the tree, going all the way up and drawing back. That branch, in my humblest of opinions, was way too large. It is massive. Now you can't really see the gist of it, but you'll see it when I'm taking it off if it has rooted properly. This is quite thick and quite long, so this is too much, and the tree already has that kind of a movement, with the branches, and obviously up in the apex we're going to have to do some removals because it is quite cluttered up in the apex. Let me try and see if I could get you where you could see. So as you could see, up in the apex is cluttered, so some stuff will have to be removed to create that space and then develop over time that nice apex. So today we're going to look at this area and see if this was a success, and if it is a success, let's take it off, and if it's not a success, let's make a decision on what we're going to do with this piece of material. Yeah, let me just go. So my friends, gently going to remove all of the stuff that is keeping this bag in place. So I have to remove this. So bringing you in closer, apart from the fact that there is ants, we have success. That is a root. And here are roots coming out. How many roots we have is another issue. But at this stage, my friends, I am quite happy with this. So I'm going to gently remove this by sawing it off manually. So let me get to that, and then let's take a look at this thing. What is it? So my friends, with that cut, I've left quite a massive scar to heal. So I'm going to try to clean this up a bit and put this one side. The limit here tools. Put this one side to heal over. Let me go ahead and try to smoothen this a little bit, and when we come back, I'm gonna see about that earlier. Yeah, this body of work is finished. This will be another video where we address the apex of it, and I'm pointing at the apex but you can't see, so it'll be another video where we address the apex of it and start working on it, and then eventually we're going to get it out of this grow bag to pot it up, slowly but surely. So this is over time. Right now what we want to do is to get this area into a pot. So this is the pot that I'm going to put this area in. And with that said, now I'm going to look and see what roots we have. So I have to take this this tie strap off, and let's hope, because I cut off brave and bold, I took off the area bravely. Let us hope that whatever roots it has under here is enough for it to survive. Oy, oy. So I used an old pot to do this area with, and the pot could literally be torn apart. We have roots. We have roots. So I'm not going to interfere. No, no, no. I am going to put down a base layer of soil and then put soil, mound soil all around. And let's hope for the very best where this is concerned. But this, my friends, is a success. So let me see. Yep. Should I give it an angle? I think I should give it a slight angle because if you look at it, it has a bit of a lean to it. And I'm wondering if I should give it a bit of an angle. Yeah, I think this is the angle that I want to go with. Because if I plant it straight like this veers across in a not so kind manner. And I want to use this material as unconventional as it is. I want to use this material as is. As is. So let me get some soil here. I've adjusted the angle just a bit. And I potted it up. And I'm thinking that I could make one or two minor decisions. Have a nice little shoot coming out here. This, I know about this, you know, but I'm going to leave it for now. Everything that I think is dead, I will remove. This is the line here. This going up here is the line here. This, not so much. So I'm thinking I want to remove this and let it concentrate on this line going up here. I'm leaving this filler as a potential backup just in case. I'm hoping that I don't have a just in case situation, but it will also serve to help further heal over this. Although it has healed, but to generate more rollover. So I'm going to remove this guy here because, let's see, if this were the front, he ain't so bad. This could be a front, but he hides directly behind this guy. I don't know that this is a front because I don't think that this angle is used as a front where the trunk goes away from the viewer. Although the main atypical branch or apical branch comes back to us, I don't know that this is a front. So I'm looking at this as a potential. This has a potential front here because this has a nice flow line, but this guy is in the way of that flow line. And on the other side, I think this guy is still in a bad position. There's a lot of scarring to heal over. So I'm going to cut back here. Cut this back here. And I'm going to remove this. I contemplated long enough. I am going to remove this guy. And that's it. He is gone from... I think it looks better. The tree has a lot of scarring. That's a definite. A lot of scarring. But in time, I think that it will heal over nicely and eventually give us something on the beautiful side of it. More decisions to be made in the future because you have this branch that veers away. If I turn it this way, it comes over to the audience, and everything is more or less kind of windswept. Everything is windswept. This branch is in a bad space, but I will leave it for now because it's healing over this point here. That is as much as I want to do with this for now. I'm going to mound up the soil just a bit, give it a good soaking, and put it in a corner. So my friends, this is what I decided to do with the elm. I did not complete the recording as I should have, but this is what I did. I cut back some of the branches, and when the new buds start coming out, because I'm speaking in the positive, when the new buds start coming out and growing, I would be able to make better choices. But this is what I did with the elm. And showing you quickly just the raft. At the end of the video, this is what the raft looks like. Very nice. This is a top view. And yes, I have a cup here. Granted, I could mound up the soil, but the soil keeps washing off, and there's two little roots that are trying to keep alive. When they get stronger, I will expose them a bit more. But those are the two bodies of work, my friends. So, on that note, you know the usual. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. And remember that our climate is our responsibility. We have an opportunity to change it for the better. If not for ourselves, let's do it for the future generations. Okay, my friends, take care. Bye.